it's Cassidy from Cassidy Reads and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week I have 2 videos coming up because I didn't post last week and I felt really bad, and if my voice sounds really weird, it's because I'm sick. But with today's video, I thought I would do my book signing haul / book signing advice. This past weekend, I went to Invade Philly in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it was so much fun. It was my first time ever going to Invade Philly. I went as a blogger, so I went for the blogger hour, which was from 9 to 10 a.m., and then the a.m. session started at 10, so that's when my sister showed up. It was so much fun. I met so many cool bookstagrammers and booktubers. I met a couple of people that I actually knew, already knew from Bookstagram, so that was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of great books, so I'm super excited to show you what I've got. And then after I show you what I got, I will go ahead and talk about advice and give just my opinion on book signing advices and things like that, what to bring, what not to bring, how to act, things like that, and just give my advice. Of course, there's a lot of advice I probably won't get to share, things that I guess I just don't think of when I go to signings because I've only been to 2, so I feel like I kind of have a good understanding about what to do at signings and how to act. So the first person I have books from, she didn't have a pre-order, but she did post on the Indies Invade Philly page that if you wanted any books that she wasn't going to have available, just message her and she'll bring those books. So she already had the books that I owned, so I went ahead and asked her for some of her older books, and that was Penelope Ward. Now, Penelope Ward does live in this area, so that's why she went to Philly. Even though she does go to a lot of the other signings throughout the United States, I noticed that she's in a lot of the signings in this area. I'm from New York, so I saw her in Boston last April, and I saw her here, and I'm actually going to go see her again in Boston next year. So it does a lot of local signings. Now, Penelope Ward, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know she's one of my favorite authors, so I need to finish her collection and the books that I have from her. So I went ahead and asked her for Drunk Dial, which I'm super excited to read this one, Mac Daddy, and Room Hate. Now, I've had an ebook of Room Hate for a while now, and I've had so many people recommend this book to me, so I'm so excited to dive into it. And she's one of those authors I just would rather read physical copies instead of ebooks. I got the ebook for free maybe a year or 2 ago, so I would just rather wait and read the paperback. I'm actually probably going to pick it up this week because it does seem pretty decently sized, so I'm going to hope to read this week this book, and maybe her other books I'll pick up by the end of this year. The next person I got books from, she's actually a completely new author to me. She was so incredibly sweet. She was at the signing with her sister, and I went up to her table because I try to go up to everybody who's at the signing, and even if I don't know their books, I try to at least talk to them, see if I want any of their books. And this woman was so sweet, and I'm glad I picked up 2 of her novellas, and that is Kristen Allen. So I got Coming for Christmas. This is the first book in this duet series, and the next one is Finishing in the New Year. And she just actually told me that the 3rd one is coming out in December, I believe. I hope that's right, in this series, and it follows one of the characters from this book, and people are really excited to hear about the next character's book. I don't really know that much information about these 2 novellas, but I'm super excited to read them and get to know Kristen Allen's writing style a little more, just because, like I said, she's a new author to me, and they just sound really cute. Of course, Coming for Christmas is going to be great for the Christmas season, and I have a bunch of books that I got from Romance Forever PR, so I'm super into the Christmas books for right now, so I'm excited to have these join my collection. The next person I got a book from was an author that I've read quite a few books from. She writes a bunch of hockey romances, and I used to love reading them on my Kindle, but I don't have any paperbacks of her, which I'm super surprised. But that is Toni Ellio, and this is Dump and Chase. This is part of the Nashville Assassins Next Generation series. I love hockey romances, so I'm super excited to add this one to my bookshelf. And I haven't read this one yet, so I'm super excited because the next one in this series, I believe, comes out this month at the end of the month, like November 22nd or something around that. But I'm really intrigued by this book, and Tony Aleo, was so sweet, so nice. She's like so tall compared to I am, and she was like trying to like scoot down so she could be closer to me in the picture. She was hilarious. All these authors were super awesome. That's what I really like about going to book signings and meeting these authors, because it's so different talking to somebody online and then talking to them in person. So like I said, again, and then all these books are signed, of course, since I did go to a signing. And yeah, I'm super excited to add this one to my bookshelf, and just because I don't own a lot of paperback hockey romances. Is just so bizarre since I love hockey romances. But yeah. The next person that I got books from, again, so sweet. It was my first time meeting her, and I actually haven't read her books yet, but I've had a lot of them on my TBR for a while now, and she was such a sweetheart. She was so kind to talk to, was telling me all about her different books and things like that, and that was Tegan Hunter. Now, I picked up the first two books in the Pizza series, or I'm actually not sure what the series is called, but the first book is a Pizza My Heart, and the next one is I Need You Tonight. Now, these are the original covers. The covers are changing for these books, so I'm super glad that I got the first edition books, and I just think they're beautiful. They're so cute. I love the couple pictures. And the next book that I got from her is Can't Text This, and this is part of the text series. Again, I'm so bad with series names, but this is part of a series. I believe there's 4 books in this series, and they're all standalones. And I have the first book, I believe, in the series. I got it from the romance review box, so I'm glad to have another book in that series. The next 2 books I got from Jennifer Van Wyk, and that is I'm Yours and Waiting for Her. She, again, was super nice. This actually isn't even out yet, so I'm super excited to have this one and have a paperback. It sounds so good. Single dad romance, right up my alley. So I'm super excited to have this one. And I haven't actually read a lot of books by her, so I'm super excited to keep reading more books by her and hopefully get more into her books. And I believe she's going to another signing I want to go to, so I hope that I can get more books by the time I go to the next signing. And the last book that I have to show is a book by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. This is The Fall of Troy. It's the first book in the Odyssey duet. She was so adorable. I loved meeting Rebecca Sharp. She was just so sweet. We were talking about different books that she had, and a new book that she's coming out is called Tequila, which is based off of the Dan and Shay song Tequila, and it had such a cute cover. It's coming out in December, so I hope to be able to read that one soon. Definitely would love to read this one soon. I've heard so many good things about it. I've seen it all over Bookstagram, so yeah, I'm super excited to have it join my bookshelf. So now on to the advice / just information part of this video. I just wanted to put together like a couple things that I think are important when it comes to signings. Now, when I was a newbie going to signings last April, I didn't really know like what to expect, so I had a bunch of people like talk to me and give me advice, and I definitely checked out a lot of YouTube videos on here that has a bunch of like book signing advice. Now I know Peace Love Books and Lacey has a bunch of YouTube videos on signings. I'll actually link their videos down below because I felt that their videos were very helpful. I did see their videos after I went to a book signing, but I feel like it really helped me be comfortable with this past signing. Now, my very first tip or advice I have to give is join the Facebook groups. Now, just like Indies, Invade Philly, and Talk Author book events, they have Facebook group pages that you can join, or even just the information page, like a like page that they have where they give information about the signing. They have who's attending the signing, they put the charts down, the seating charts like a little closer to the events. They have like a rules like, oh, where to park or what entrance to come in and things like that. And they also have things that like you might not be allowed to bring. Now, I've never been to Polycon, but I know for a fact that they don't allow book cards or things like that, like suitcases. So it's definitely great to join those Facebook group pages so you can see what you're allowed to bring and what you're not allowed to bring. Also, some events do have a certain number of books you're allowed to bring to get signed. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to bring the books they already have to get signed. They get pre-ordered books, but it definitely helps to check out those Facebook group pages. And you can also see if they're selling any tickets for that event. Sometimes they have a post for that. They also have like posts where you could see like, oh, how many people are like coming from this state and things like that. You can meet a bunch of people before you actually go to the signing of and you get to see who's going. So that's super cool. So I highly recommend joining the Facebook group pages that they have for those signings. Next small piece of advice that I have is pre-order books. Now, not everybody might suggest this, but I personally do. I just think it's a great way to make sure that you snag the books that you want. Not all authors may have pre-orders. Like I said, Penelope Ward didn't have a pre-order for this event, but she did say, PM me if you want books that I might not have at the signing. So that definitely helps. And also, pre-order books may be cheaper than getting them at the event. Now, some authors do offer this, so it might be like $10 to get it as a pre-order, and then it might be like $15 to get it at the signing. Not all the time it happens. It might just be like a couple of dollars difference, but it does definitely help, and it keeps track of like what books you are definitely gonna get and what books you might not get because they might not have at the signing. Now, of course, like I said, join the Facebook group pages because that's how you can find the pre-orders. Like, for example, Talk Author Book Events already has pre-orders up for their April event, and I know Kennedy Fox already has their pre-order open, and you could see what books they're gonna have. And for them who they live in 2 different states, one lives in Texas and one lives in Wisconsin, I believe, they might not be able to bring a lot of books with them. So definitely pre-order for authors that might not have books available at the event. The other piece of advice that I have might kind of be self-explanatory, but at the time, like at a signing, you might not think about it. Drink lots of water and wear comfortable shoes. For the first signing that I went to, didn't really wear comfortable shoes, and my feet were actually starting to hurt a little bit towards the end. I was just wearing a pair of sneakers, but they weren't really that comfortable. So being on your feet for a long day, especially if you're not used to that, could really bother your feet. So I definitely recommend wearing comfortable shoes and drinking. Some signings might have like little filtered water that you can get, but if they don't, definitely bring a bottle of water so you do have something to drink. Especially because if you're talking all day, your throat might start to bother you, and if you might not eat all day too, depending on how long you're going to be at the signing, it definitely helps to drink some water and wear comfortable shoes. Another tip that I have is don't be nervous. Now, again, this might be easier said than done, but don't be nervous. These are people just like us, and yes, we see them as like celebrities, but don't be nervous. Definitely talk to them, talk about different books, and if they're new authors to you, ask them about like, oh, what's this series about? What's your favorite book to write? Things like that. They love to talk to you. More authors might be a little more open to talk to you than others. It's not that because they're like mean or something, but it's just like, it might be their personality, but just talk to them. Talk to them about, like, ask them different questions. Talk about your favorite book by them. Talk about, like, what might be interesting. Talk about the things that they have on their table. It's definitely cool to, like, get into conversation with them. This past weekend, I talked to Tessa Bailey, and she was so cool to talk about. We talked about my Instagram, and she followed me on my Instagram, which was so cool. So definitely just talk about things that are on your mind, and it might be nerve-wracking at first. Like, when I went to my last and first signing at Talk Book Author event, I was so nervous to talk to Penelope Ward. I was just like, you're so pretty. So it definitely can be nervous. I'm not gonna try to like justify that and lie to you. And it can be really nerve-wracking, especially if you really don't like talking to new people and things like that. But just try not to be nervous. To go along with my not being nervous and talking to authors, talk to other people that are there too. You will never realize what kind of connections you can make at book signings. I saw so many bookstagrammers that I had already been following at this book signing, and I knew a couple were going to be there, and they even stopped me because they remember like the shirt that I was going to wear because I wore my Cassidy Reed shirts that my friend Emily made for me. Just talk to people. You can find new friendships. I mean, at my first very book signing, I met up with Emily Reads, and that was super cool because it's so fun to like go from talking on Instagram and them actually meeting them in real life. And you can meet people that you actually don't even know, and you can meet bookstagrammers, booktubers, just other readers. It's super cool to talk to people you have a connection with because we all obviously love to read, so it's super fun to talk about things that you have with somebody in common, and it's just fun, and you never know, that person could become like one of your best friends. So that was just a couple tips and advice things that I wanted to mention. Of course, there might be so many more advice and tips out there. So if you know any that I didn't mention, definitely comment down below so I can see it and other people who are watching this video can see your tips. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, I'm going to have my other video up this week. It's going to be a TBR bookshelf tour, just like I showed my bookshelf, which I have reorganized since I've showed that video. But I just wanted to show you a bunch of my books that I have on my TBR and that I need to start reading. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my Instagram at Cassidy Reads. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.